Hello, amazing people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chioma Otie, and you're welcome to Youth Quick with Chioma. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're returning, you're welcome back, fam. So you know what we do here is everything youth under the sun. We have amazing conversations, and of course, I have guests for you people that will make you enjoy it even more. And so today is going to be even more interesting because I have the lady with the golden voice. We are going to be talking about something really interesting, but I want you guys to meet her. So, ma'am, who are you?
You said who are you? I thought like, what are you? Hello everybody. Hi, welcome back to our channel. Our channel for today.
Yes,
I'm Chinwe Blesing. That's about what my name is. I'm a radio presenter, media personality, voiceover coach, voiceover narration coach. See, the things are plenty. I am who I am, yes.
I was just looking to see where you finish because I know that they are
It's a lot.
like it's going to be a lot, but that is just the part I wanted you to mention, the voice-over narration part.
Coach,
Good.
yeah.
Are going to teach me. Well, but let's not start this year. Okay, yeah,
I am.
She has taught me before.
she's
I thought I was an unserious student. Now I've chosen to be serious. So another thing that she didn't, okay, she wasn't going to say that, but I'm going to say that on her behalf. For me, I feel like she's the most confident person that I know. Like her self-esteem is like here. And so today we are talking about confidence, like those things you don't know about self-confidence. She's going to explain better how she does it and then the self-esteem part. So ma'am, let me start with that. How do you manage to be this confident that nothing touches you? Like things are happening, but you're so confident, you do your thing and then it's always okay for you. You always have the... How do you do it, please?
Okay, first off, things touch me.
Okay.
That's the part that a lot of people don't come to terms with. Or a lot of people don't seem to see. A lot of people tell me, Mama, nobody can embarrass you in this life. I'm like, you just don't see it.
I think I agree with that though.
I think what a lot of people don't know is, you see, one thing I love about being confident, which I had to learn, is nobody knows the difference between when you're actually confident and when you're fake confident.
Oh.
That's the beautiful thing about confidence. So if you look confident, if you seem confident, then to everyone else, you are confident. And then there are advantages of confidence. So it will serve the purpose in the time. And it will give you ample opportunity to withdraw back to yourself and be like, okay, where did I lose it? What happened? Where did I, okay, how do I fix it? And how do I get to get to a place where it doesn't happen again?
Okay.
Yes, so that's about
So
it.
now you even try to answer like two of the questions I was going to ask in this very short period of time that you explained, these little things that you explained. So I was going to ask you if confidence is inherent or if it's something that could be learned, but you just mentioned that. So confidence could be learned.
Yes. Okay, so there's a line. Before I came here, when you sent me the whole thing, I didn't look at it, but I remembered you said we're going to talk about confidence, and I tried to take myself back in time. I remember growing up, I would hear my teachers say, "Oh, she would have done well, but she was overly confident." They said that about me a lot. It's like, it's Blessing. Blessing is overconfident. And my mom would tell me, just breathe and don't try to like force it out. Just get it done. But one thing I learned over the years is, you mentioned self-esteem, and you said my self-esteem is way up here.
Yeah, I feel so.
Hasn't always been. I'd always been like this person who had, my self-confidence was shit. I had no,
Shit.
My self-esteem was crap. I didn't even believe I was beautiful to begin with. I didn't think I had a pretty face. I didn't think I had a body anybody would want. Okay, because say I grew up I grew up behind my mates.
Okay.
So when I graduated high school, I had nothing on my chest. I was plain Jane.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you can.
Oh my goodness, I know what that means. I really do know what that means, but I'm not going to speak on it.
So I don't digress a lot.
Yeah.
Coming back to it, I do know that they would say she's. So I was born that kid who didn't really. I was outspoken. I've always been outspoken. I've always been extroverted. So yes, you can say that you can be born with confidence. There are people who are born extroverted. They are different from the people who are born seemingly shy. But being shy or being introverted does not equate not being confident in yourself.
Okay.
It doesn't. They have places where they meet.
Actually, they're
not the
quite
same
similar.
thing. Mhm.
Yes, in a very, very huge way. Because some people that are shy would like to just stay in their shells and not come out to the public. And when you come out, it helps to even reinforce your confidence level.
Yeah.
So then, since you said your mom tells you to breathe and all of that, I think that helps in building your confidence. But how else can anyone else build his or her confidence?
Okay, so let's go back to 2017 when I went to Lagos.
Okay.
And my friends, who happen to believe in me more than I do believe in myself, forced me to go for this karaoke contest, Stardom. And I didn't think I was going to go through because I felt, okay, everybody says I have a great singing voice, but I don't believe that I do.
No, you do.
At the time, I didn't. Now I know.
Yeah.
And, I went in and I got 2 yeses. And I cried. And a lot of people were wondering, why is this girl crying? I mean, it's mama. Why are you crying? And it was because I didn't think people would come from outside Jaws and would actually validate my talent.
Yeah.
I never thought that was something that would happen. And I went into the house and I didn't last so long. I got to top 5. I should have gone farther than that. And I didn't last that long because I didn't believe I could do well enough.
Okay.
I struggled with my self-esteem. I just felt I wasn't it. I would tell myself I'm just average. And I'll say it to people, be like, oh, God, you're so good. And I'm like, nah, it's just average. You get, and they'll be like, no. And I had like so many experiences I cannot say on camera.
Okay.
In the house. And then when I came back, that was when my journey to self-acceptance came.
Okay.
When I came back to Jos, I fell sick. I came back to Jos. Coming back to Jos was hard. Because you went to Lagos, didn't work for you. But I came back home and my journey towards self-acceptance began. I had to be self-critical. I had to withdraw into myself and be like, okay, what are the mistakes I've made?
Yeah.
What is making me average? Why do I think I'm average? How do I become what I want? I have tunnel vision. I'm that person. I had an image I wanted to portray. This is the person I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be identified as this person. And funny enough, there's a Chinwe Blesing I've always wanted to be my entire life. But I never faced her. I never really thought, okay, this is the girl I've wanted to be my entire life. I just always thought, it's going to happen one day. So I started to find ways to become that person. I had to look the part. That was the hard part.
Okay.
No, that was the easy part. I had to look the part. I had to change how I dressed. I had to change places I went to. The people I hung around. The things I ate. The things I did, the things I listened to. It's very crazy, but I did. And gradually, I started to see myself for who I actually was. And then, now that I said that, it's going to sound like I started to see the good part, right?
Yeah.
No, but what I started to see was me. The me that makes me. No, the me that makes me. Where I stood. Where my weaknesses were, where my strengths were. The work I needed to do. And the more I did that work and I started to see results, then I started to feel more confident in myself. Confidence in yourself is basically believing in yourself.
That's
having faith in yourself. So I knew that, I could actually do this easy. And that one takes work. So I would take credit for what I can do easy and I'll take credit for what I put in work. Because everybody would say, Smalls, that's what they used to call me then. Smalls is very talented. But she's very unserious, and I hated hearing that about myself. And shout out to Bros Osama, but I remember one time we had a very huge, back-to-back banter about it, and I yelled at him. I had to come back and beg, but I did that. I was like, stop saying I'm unserious. You don't know what it is, because a lot of people don't understand that being multi-talented is a blessing and a curse. It's more a curse than it is a blessing.
I think I do agree with that. So you mentioned you having to change places you went to, changing how you looked and all of that. Yes. So would you say that confidence is a physical thing or a mental thing? Both. Which one do you think matters most?
I think both.
Equally, it's a 50-50 kind of thing.
I think. In my case, I would say yes. Because, now that I've built my self-confidence to a place where it don't matter how I look, I could take off my wig on this camera right now and still keep going.
I know you can. Please don't
do that. Yes, I wouldn't. But I think I had to get there. I had to get to a place where I realized that I was addressed how I looked. And I realized that whenever I looked good and I stood in front of my camera, I liked who I saw. She just struck me like someone that I could look up to. Now, this is the part I didn't even know. I didn't know that with the way I dressed, people started to address me different. So I'll drive to a place and they'll start to call me ma.
Oh yeah.
And it made me feel like I was getting old. And a friend of mine told me, he said, no, it's that you exude this confidence. You exude, oh, I got my stuff.
And you will be addressed
sorted. Yes. And then that started to change how I saw myself. So now this is going to sound like I was seeking validation from outside.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that.
Yes, but if I'm being honest and I'm not trying to paint a false picture, validation that you get outside would eventually grow into validation that you give yourself. For me, it started on that front. When I realized that people changed how they saw me, it made me want to see myself in a different light. Eventually, it metamorphosed into me not caring how you saw me. Okay. Because you would meet the people that would still not validate you no matter how good you are.
So do you think you've gotten to that point where you feel like you've built your self-confidence to that point where nothing at all can make it come down? Or does your self-confidence fluctuate sometimes?
Now, it's that sometimes I don't feel so confident in myself.
When you're sick? What makes you feel less confident?
No, when I flop.
Okay.
Recently, I had the worst review on a voiceover. Shout out to Chike. Chike is going to see this and he's going to know. And when the client sends the review, she sounds flat. She doesn't sound like the last job we did. This is very terrible. I can't hear the emotions. I was like, me? So and at first I was, yes, because a day before that, I had issues with someone else with a voiceover. And the person said, nah, this is not what I'm looking for. I wrote the script American. You're giving me a vibe that is off. I'm like, so when I looked at all of that, I started to feel for a little second. And lack of self-confidence can manifest as anger.
Lack of self-confidence?
Yes. So you could, because in my stead, I was like, well, if they don't like it, they should leave it. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. I beg. It's me.
Defensive.
You can't. Yes, I became defensive.
Yeah.
And I had to pull back into myself and be like, hey, girl, you've put in the work, you've put in the hours. Look at this script. Except if you're telling me that you're incapable of becoming what the client wants you to become in this voiceover. So in that moment, I was not so confident in myself. Then I had to talk myself into self-confidence. Then I sat behind my microphone and I got it done. And then, just before I came here, actually, it was approved.
Oh, that's
so. You see, it's basic. Self-confidence is not a state of being it's not a constant state of being. There are days when you don't feel as confident. There are rooms I walk into, girl, forget it. There are rooms I walk into. There was a conference I was in March. I walked into that room and girl, I had to go into the bathroom and literally do the physical look into the mirror, and I am enough. I am becoming, and I have everything that I am inside of me. That just leads me
into the question I was going to ask you: the place of affirmations in confidence building. Because I never used to believe that. Like when you tell me, go to the mirror, tell yourself, Chioma, I am beautiful. Chioma, I am this. I just say it, but I just feel like it's superficial. I don't really mean it when I say it because it doesn't reflect it. So do you think that affirmations really work, even though they don't really sound realistic all of the time?
Now, how are you affirming yourself? That's it. A lot of people just go online, find these affirmations, and they use them. If you're going to begin your journey to self-affirmation, that is feasible.
Okay.
What I do as self-affirmation is I talk to me.
Okay.
I talk to me.
Okay.
I talk to the girl that is inside of me. And I talk to her how she needs. I tell her what she needs to hear. What I see. If you notice most of my posts on social media, my tweets, I'm always saying stuff like, she is what she was and what she will be now.
Okay.
I am what I am becoming now. It's inside of me.
Well, how fast does it work? Like sometimes you say that, does it start working immediately?
It depends on how far into it you.
Because this has to be very realistic. Sometimes you say that, and then for a particular period of time, you feel like you're feeling alright, and then after some time, like when you tell yourself all of those things, and you feel like you're just telling yourself because you feel like that is what you need to hear now, but that's not really.
That's where the problem is.
It's not really genuine.
That's where the problem is. You're saying it because it's like I'm trying to hype myself up. That's not what it is.
So there's a difference.
It is that I am reminding myself that I am this that I'm saying.
But then you are feeling down. Okay, let me put it this way. Maybe you're kind of depressed or you're emotionally unstable, and then you just need to psych yourself up and do certain things because you know that. Okay, so in that case, when you don't feel that good and you try to tell yourself those things, you feel like you're being realistic.
Come back to the basis. to the basics. Do you believe before the day you were feeling that well? You were feeling that down?
Yes.
Do you believe that you're all that?
Yes,
Have you come to
definitely
terms?
used to feel that
Have
way.
you come to terms with the fact that you're beautiful, you're strong, you can handle it, you can do it? Have you also come to terms with the fact that how you feel is just a feeling and it's not realistic?
Yeah, and it's just
Your
momentary.
emotions are your hormones messing with you.
Yeah.
So what
But
is actually,
sometimes-
what is realistic is not your emotions. I have pulled myself into work. I'm currently working on the project. We couldn't shoot when we wanted to shoot because I had to shoot something else. I've been working on 5 projects simultaneously. And I was having mental breakdowns. I was on the phone with a client, and lucky enough for me, it's a client that is a friend. And I was breaking down, and I'll tell him, Hamza, hold on. And I will cry. And it was dramatic, but that was the most I had pushed myself. I would cry and I'll call him back and I'll be like, yes, I'm not having a mental block right now. I'm not having a creative block. Where were we? If we're planning this like this, okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Give me 20. I need to breathe. And people need to learn that breathing is actually so important in your journey because we don't stop to breathe. Breathing is an act. I take time and I slow down my breathing. And I say, I'm going to take only 5 breaths in the next 15 seconds. And I will put my watch and I'm looking at it. And I put my time stopper and I'm taking intentional deep breaths. I tell you for a fact, if you are in tune with the person that you are,
yeah,
you could even break down and have a moment where you are crying because you were breathing. And the moment you're done, you tell yourself, I got this.
No.
And you tell yourself, I got this for as long as you need to tell yourself you got it till you got it.
That's right. So talk about building self-confidence, right? You have mentioned a few things you did. So since you said it could be learned, so for people, because I know that confidence or building of self-confidence is believing in oneself, your skills, your abilities, your talents, and whatever. So what exactly does someone need to do or should do in case where he or she doesn't feel so good in him or herself and wants to build confidence, and this person is very deliberate about it? How does a person start? Like, what is the starting point now?
First off, you need to unlearn.
Unlearn.
You need to unlearn being everything you think you know about yourself.
That's so much work, you know.
Yes, it will take weeks, months, sometimes years. It's so much work. You gotta face whatever it is you're afraid of, and that is so difficult. And I don't know how else to use words to say it, but you gotta unlearn everything you think you know about yourself. In my stead, I had to unlearn the Chinwe I created Chinwe Blesing. I was small for a very long time, and I didn't like the girl that she was. So I had to create Chinwe Blesing. I had to. Who do I want this girl to be? What kind of rooms do I want her to sit in? What kind of people? For me, it did. At first, I didn't. Pedro made me change my name.
Okay.
He sat me down and he said, "Babe, I hate that they call you Smalls. That's why I never call you Smalls. Look at what this name is doing to you. What does Chinwenwa mean? You have to change your name. You have to understand what it means. I don't know if you get it now.
Okay.
In my stead, Chinwenwa, that's my full name. Okay. And it means God's own child.
Yeah.
So I had to now start thinking, okay, who is God's child? Why am I God's child? I move around like I own everywhere because I believe my father does. Look, and it's not delusion. Now, there's a difference between that and delusion. Because there's a difference. I can walk into this place now and start ordering people around. I'm delusional.
Yeah.
But when I walk in as though I know I have the attitude that I'm going to get whatever it is I'm going for. And even if I don't, it's fine. It's just not time for me to get it. Balance. Extremely important in finding your confident journey. So for me, I had to change my name. You might not have to change your name outside, but inside you just come to the realization of what it is that you are.
So earlier I asked you about the physical and the mental part of this whole thing. So when you go online, you see a lot of courses like how to build self-confidence in 30 days, how to do this in this minute, and how to do that. And sometimes I feel like it is very untrue and impossible. But do you think all of those things really work? Like, do you think building self-confidence, okay, I see those are how to build self-confidence or how to build confidence as a public speaker and all of that, and I think that works. But then building self-confidence, I don't think it's something that can really be learned. So what do you think of the place of online courses and going to certain schools to learn how to be confident in yourself?
Self-growth, investing in yourself to become better, is something I always recommend. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do verbatim what you're seeing online.
Okay.
It means that there is no knowledge you're going to get off it that is a waste. In fact, it might be something you know that is going to be said in a different light that is going to just bring you that revelation that you need.
So that means you need some intentionality from within, and you need to have your own spice to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be, just like you said, verbatim the way they're saying it. You need to put your own and understand it in your own way.
You said your own spice, and I would have missed this point, and I would have forgiven myself. One thing that self-confidence is understanding that you cannot be another person and embracing that. So putting your own spice into it, putting your own like putting your own touch
to it
is what makes it yours. When I started voiceovers, I hated my voice because I wanted to sound like everybody else. When I came to terms with the fact that there are clients that are looking for exactly my voice,
yeah, that was it.
That was my eureka moment. That was like, I could do this my own way. And same thing with radio shows.
And the funny part is that people begin to like that. Aside from liking that, they'll begin to even want to emulate you because you're being real and then you're enjoying what you're doing. So that, you mentioned earlier about being delusional. Yes, it is so funny that there is just a fine line between being arrogant and being confident, because some people try to be confident and then they do it to a point where it becomes very arrogant, and then they now come off as being disrespectful and all of that. So what's the difference, or what point does being confident, or earlier you mentioned overly confident, being overly confident get into the arrogant space?
Understand this. Confidence, right? Is I am good at what I do. I know that I am good.
But that gives you some level of confidence.
Right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you cannot be good at what you do. It doesn't mean that you are not as good, or it doesn't make you any less.
Okay.
Arrogance is, I am good at what I do, so all of you are mortals.
And nobody else can be as good as I am.
Nobody else can match this. So you would start to treat the people like that. That is, like, you exude that.
Yeah.
You start to treat people as though they are less than what you are. But pride and confidence, to me, is, I know that I'm good at what I do, but I need how good you are. I need what you got.
Yeah.
You get it now. We all need this. So the fact that you're better than me doesn't make me feel any less.
And knowing that you teach people about public speaking and all of this stuff, I would like to ask you a question. I've asked a couple of people, but I don't feel like the responses are really what it should be. So I saw somewhere that if you want to know the most confident person in any space, or maybe when the person is speaking in public spaces, is how the person breathes. If the person is breathing too fast or in a tense way, that means the person is not confident. But if you're breathing the way you should be breathing, then that means you're confident. First, do you agree with that? And secondly, what do you see in a person as soon as you see the person that tells you that this person is confident and this person is genuinely confident? Because some people fake it. You mentioned that earlier.
Faking confidence and being confident, and nobody can tell it. But
if you are very good at it.
If you're very good at it, you've mastered it like moi.
Yeah, that's the skill on his own.
Okay, so apparently I've been on stage since I was a child. Okay. Whoever has known me from childhood would know I've been the one holding the microphone from forever.
That's so good.
Guess what? I still have pre-stage jitters. I still get nervous. Nerves can make you breathe funny.
Okay.
I've watched virtually every Beyonce clip there is to watch in the universe on the internet. Beyonce gets pre-stage jitters. She literally gets nervous. And if you're going to use that as a prerequisite to know if I am a confident person, you just might not get it right.
Okay.
But I know that when I see, you asked me how I know a confident person. First thing, poised.
Okay.
That's just the way you are if you're confident. It's like, I'm in my own skin. It doesn't matter which one I'm taking. I am comfortable right now and I'm giving it to you. Yeah. So if you're going into public speaking, I'm going to say this real quick. You guys better sign up for my next class. But if I'm going into public speaking or if I'm watching a public speaker, one of the easy ways to know who it is that is confident and who isn't is not necessarily their breathing. It's basically their what do they call it? Their delivery.
Okay.
So some people hide with, I feel everybody has what they do. Some people snap, some people tap, some people
different ways.
Yes, but a person that is not confident would not be able to hold eye contact, would keep going around the subject, would keep talking around it, would probably do this a lot.
National state.
Oh, yeah.
Feelers.
Yes, you'd have too many feelers.
Feelers.
You're not going to be direct with what it is
Yeah.
you're saying. And that is going to, now one of the things in public speaking that is going to help you out if you're trying to be more self-confident
Yeah.
and you want to portray that is preparation. If you know what it is that you're talking about and it's something that you're used to,
Yeah.
you become used to it. You become the subjects that you're
Your
going to be.
level of proficiency seems a lot.
Yes, because at some point you're going to go back into doing it.
Yeah.
And that's just going to make you more confident.
So, oh my goodness, this video, I'm so sure it's going to be longer than it should. But then one last question. So now you need to choose. Okay, I know it's going to be a bit trickish, but between someone who can address a crowd without being jittery at all, exuding all kinds of confidence, using all kinds of analogy, and just speaking as he or she should, someone that knows how to control his or her emotions whenever the person is put off balance, and somebody else that expresses him or herself in the best way possible. Who do you think has the most kind of confidence? I know these are different scenarios, but which of them do you think is most confident? Does that make sense to you?
First off, I'm going to say this. I'm all in for balance. Anyone that
Okay.
knows me and listens to me would know that I'm in for balance. You can't have one way.
Yes, have bits of all of
Any
them.
extreme is bad.
Yeah.
So I'm all in for balance. But your confidence is most tested in the second scenario.
Okay, control
When
emotions.
your emotions are very strong, but that's what they are. They appear to be very strong. That's
Yeah.
what they are. They're just emotions. They appear to be. If you can catch your breath in that moment when you're feeling an extreme sense of emotion and put yourself back and still be able to put your best foot forward at the time that you need to, I feel like you have attained a level of self-confidence. Self-confidence is different from the confidence that you are showing other people. It's a state of balance within yourself, a state of belief within yourself. So you've been able to balance out your emotions in that time. In fact, being able to mask your emotions is a skill. Is a skill. Like you don't even have to not feel it.
You just lose it.
You just have to not show it at the time. So you could be feeling heartbroken or angry or sad and still portray, oh, I'm cool, calm, collected right now. This is not going to stop what I got to do, the task at hand right now.
That is them difficult. That's something that a lot of people lose.
You can work on. You
Yeah.
can work on. I'm still working on dealing with handling my emotions. The only emotion I know that I can mask right now is anger. But you see, disappointment, people don't talk about that emotion very well.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
really
how to hide
important.
it. It's like the moment I'm disappointed, you can tell. You can tell. But you have to keep putting in the intentional work.
Actually, Blessing Chinwe, this has been a very, very amazing conversation. Like, I feel like we should continue on and on, but
No, please, let's not.
I have you guys at heart, so I'm not going to continue doing that. So it's been a very, very amazing conversation. So my guys will like you. I already know. Those guys, I know them so well. They're going to like you. So they will not follow you on social media. How do they get to meet you?
So everywhere, on Twitter, especially on Instagram and on Facebook, is Chinwe Blesing with one S. So the blessing has one S. Chinwe Blesing with one S. On YouTube, it is Chinwe Blesing, double S.
Alright guys, so we've come to the end of this particular video. So many more to come, but if you've not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe. As I always say, it will make my YouTube channel grow. Also remember to like, share, so that whoever needs to see this video gets to see this. I'm Chioma, and I'll see you in the next video.